So now that I no longer live in Los Angeles, although I still have my businesses, I still have my trusted companions over there. It's a really good system that I have in place that I can always rely on as time goes on. But I guess people are curious as what happens when someone is in the entertainment industry for this amount of time, or being an entertainer in any aspect of life. So there's a lot of upsides to it. You feel like you're following what your earthly life is meant for. You're just expressing yourself. It's an expression, no matter what kind of form that you're displaying, and you're learning all this time as time goes on. This is why California is such an amazing place, because people are always willing to let you grow into who you need to become in order to become whole in a way. You feel fulfilled looking back. Like if someone were to say something to you or put you down for any reason in your life, you just think of the cool things that you've done in your life that other people are not doing. You're like, okay, I'm a cut above this just because I'm this and that. It's not arrogance. It's just being comfortable in knowing that you can achieve something just because you want it. The universe is putting you into that, and you're accepting it for yourself. So that's, to me, that helped me a lot, especially with my self-esteem as the years went on. I'm just cool dancer, I'm just cool singer, I'm just cool everything. I'm a lady that can light up the party anywhere I go, and that's been proven true time and time again. However, the effects of this kind of lifestyle are definitely not long lasting. Everybody who's an entertainer or who has been on that stage, no matter what capacity, they understand that as soon as you go home, real life sinks in. You're dealing with your real emotions, real problems, loneliness oftentimes, and just almost confusion. Like, okay, if I'm this great magnetic person, why is my life not, why are the people who is around me, the most immediate people, like my family, some friends or acquaintances, or even your landlord, why aren't they not exuding that power to you? So you kind of feel awkward sometimes, and you just see yourself, okay, I'm this image that everybody looks up to and loves, and they feel they take from me, and I'm letting that happen because that's who I chose to be in life. I chose to be an entertainer. That's the rules of the game. People are actively taking from you. So in the end, it all catches up to you. You'll go to sleep feeling really depressed oftentimes. A lot of people turn to illicit activity to numb themselves. Luckily, that has not been the case for me, but I do put meditation and different practices into play that I can keep myself stabilized. I don't have to live like that anymore. But as a person like myself who loves art, I just love visuals, I love creating things, producing things, working, collaborating with other people, and just having people under me understanding that I'm the visionary. Ashley Radiance is the visionary. No matter where I go, it doesn't have to be in front of a camera. I can be a visionary for anything, and people actually listen to me, and that's really important. The older I get, I notice that I have this effect on people, and they really love my company because I know that they know I'm really giving something of value that will benefit them long term, okay? And as time goes on, the older I get, there's more I can add to myself. So right now, people may just see me as an entertainer, as a really sweet woman, kind-hearted, visionary, talented, the list goes on. But I also want to be seen as, compassionate, kind, helpful, hospitable. There's different adjectives, motherly, even, maternal. There's other words I want to be associated with. But the right people are going to begin to see that in me, and then that's who I'll also be. So instead of just being basically surface level, I can have more depth to me. But the people who know. And being in this entertainment space, you kind of understand that this is a weird thing to do, coming from a place of trauma. A lot of people who are in entertainment come from a place of trauma, and this is kind of how they soothe themselves in a way. And for me, when I'm like that too, I'm thinking this is like the worst industry to come into, knowing that you came from with all these problems. Nobody's gonna help you out, So it's kind of putting yourself a little too high, when you're not ready for that kind of stuff. Like you're stepping into your godhood before you're even healed. This is where the disconnect comes from, and people can't help you out, like your fans and all those people who watch you and pep you up and make you all that. They don't understand it, and when that disconnect comes in, the depression will get so real. But this is the life that I chose for myself, and it doesn't have to be forever. I don't have to live like this forever. That's just who, right now, I'm really happy to be this performer, this dancer, and making people smile anywhere I go. I light up a party. I can walk into just about any space and turn things around. That's what Ashley Radiance promises, you know. And the people who know me and have met me over the years, all across the country, all over the world, really, for all these continents I've been to, like, they know who Ashley Radiance is, you know. When I watch myself, I see that girl on the screen. I'm thinking, oh my God, I just want her so bad. Can I take her essence? Can I take her aura? I have to look back. No, this is just me, you know. So it's really important to separate the artist from the artistry. You know, the persona that's being put out from the actual personality behind it. And, you know, this is a really weird space for people to be in. It's not the healthiest work in the world at all, because you don't have your dating life where it needs to be. Some of us have kids, and it's really messy. You know, I've had my experiences with all of that kind of stuff, and not really fitting in anywhere because nobody can take all this radiant energy. But it's important for me to be humble and to realize that I don't have to be Ashley Radiance all the time, you know, especially when it comes to relationships and personal relationship type things. I don't have to be this mega girl performer all the time, because maybe that person maybe there's no one to reciprocate that energy. That's why you see the biggest performers in the world who are really passionate about their craft. They are often by themselves because nobody can match them. And if someone matches them, they start to feel, okay, I want to be bigger than that. You know, it's like always in your head, I got to be bigger than that. You can't match me. I'm everything. You know, I'm this cool performer, but it's just really the persona. That's just the ego that's really doing it. It's not necessarily that they're not a good person. And I believe that having kids in this lifestyle is even more unstable because, you know, it's the same thing. You can't be home all the time. You can't be available all the time when you're out performing for this crowd, that crowd, and you're just living off that high. And as soon as you go home and then you deal with real life, the fundamentals of a real life, you know, aside from the stage, you're just thinking, I don't know how to be a mom. I don't know how to be a dad. I don't know how to be these things because that's not what I worked on. I worked on how to perfect my skills, how to sing really well, how to dance, how to draw, how to do all these other things, how to write, produce, direct, whatever people in the entertainment industry do, you know, strip, anything. You know, I'm including all those people because I understand entertainment is a broad word, and I've touched many of those already and I've lived that lifestyle. And I'm just happy that I can understand the duality of this lifestyle just like any other, but this is one of the most unhealthiest lifestyles in the entire world, especially for someone coming from a trauma place, which again many entertainers are. I want to make this video so full length to really get into the entertainment industry and all facets of it, like how people's mental health is being drained as time goes on, and how people are turning to unhealthy avenues to cure themselves. And there really is no cure, because as soon as you step out, you give of yourself to somebody who you know doesn't deserve it. You know people don't deserve that from you. All these things that you're putting out, this is for you. Like some videos I make, I never release them. You know, I'm like, this is for Ashley, you know, not the persona, the actual me. This is for me to watch and have fun and look at it, or some books that I've written, it's just for me. You know, you gotta separate that. You can't give it of yourself, no matter how much of an entertainer you are, a performer. You know, there is really no mental health assistance for people in my position, because it's so like you can't really find anybody to match you in any way. And when you're younger, you see all these entertainers dealing with these things, and you don't understand why there's so many hang-ups and confusion, because they're not finding help, and there is no help for anybody in this kind of work. You know, there's no help out there, and the more you do it, the more you get stuck. But there's always a door telling you can leave. You know, there's always a door saying that you can leave this kind of lifestyle, no matter how intoxicating it can get, because the intoxication, it really doesn't last long. You know, it's like a high. It's a high, and as soon as that's done, you deal with real life, you deal with your family. Some people don't even have family. They choose not to partake in that, and they think that the stage is all they have, or all these people that they're performing for, and it gets real, you know, because you can't substitute human interaction for false ideals. This is all idealistic. I dance, even myself, I'm telling these stories through my dance, my songs, and my books, right? All these facets of Ashley Radiance, the people who take it and they interpret it however they want. It's not who I truly am, but the essence. They can pull a little bit of this divinity from it and then make it their own. And it's a beautiful thing. I like seeing that happen, but it's a ripping away from the artist at the core. So where do I see myself in the next couple years? Do I still see myself as an entertainer? I say yes, because I'm really solid about the kind of lifestyle, the work that I do. I feel like this is where I'm strongest at more than anything else in the world. I feel like just making other people feel disconnected from their present reality for even 10 minutes makes me happy, because I feel like I'm achieving something from the universe outer space that nobody else can access. And if I don't go get it, who will? So those people who touched me when I was a young kid, and those entertainers, this is why I became an entertainer myself, because of those people who touched me. And I knew that they weren't from Earth, They weren't from Earth. Their skills, their mindset, the way that they spoke, they're not from Earth. And I knew they had to get it from some other place. So when I began to kind of do my own thing and then reach out to other spirits, other life forms, and start connecting, I saw I could do that too. I wanted it. I want to do it. And so I kept on, I said, this is who Ashley Radiance is going to be, this really intense performer. She's going to make everybody in the audience smile. She's going to have that magnetic energy, that radiance to her everywhere she goes. And this has been a ripple effect, and everybody who knows me, who supports the kind of work that I do as a dancer, performer, singer, all these fun things, they understand what it takes, and they understand that what they're getting from it, they're getting a break from their present reality, and there's people on Earth who really don't want to do what everybody else is doing. There's people who don't want to, they just want to live in outer space and keep collecting from whatever these different beings are giving people like myself. They're giving us this information, telling us how to act a certain way, move a certain way, give us swagger, some coolness to us, and we get to bring that down to earth, so we're channeling divinity, we're channeling something else, and we're giving it to people, and that's so incredible. I love that. There's nothing better in the entire world, I feel, than being a performer. This is why I'm who I am right now. I love making people smile. I love making myself smile. And every time I watch something or I listen to my voice, something like, this is Ashley Radiance. She's so epic, And I know that with just a few more years, the most incredible things will happen, And I'm just afraid of myself. I'll listen to myself on a track or something like that, or watch my dances, or just me interacting with other people. And I'm thinking, I'm afraid of that girl, because I know what she can become. She's gonna be this mega, amazing, freaking outer space, not even human anymore. So it's really addicting, it's intoxicating, but in the best way possible. And the people who are around me, who support me, they understand, the toll that it takes from me, but it doesn't always come with respect. Even though there's a slight understanding, wow, this lady's taking on a lot of pressure to be who she is and live like this for this long and into the future, and it's just not the most healthy space, because they don't know every aspect of your life. They can't support you in the way that you need them to. Nobody can, not even other performers that I see and that I respect. We can't help each other, because this is the life that we chose. We're pulling something from outer space, and nobody can understand this. So respect your performers, please. You got your strippers and everything else, your musicians, your dancers, everything. Just respect them, because they're handling a lot of things, and there's nobody there to help them at all. There's nobody there to help them. Nobody understands. It's such a fluid lifestyle. Things will change in 2 months, 2 years. You'll be with somebody else. You'll think something else. You're just always looking for more and more and more, higher, And it's not about, being greedy necessarily, but it's just, you just don't feel comfortable being stagnant, We're playing it safe, really. You like a little bit of danger, you like that in your life, and other people can see that, oh, she's doing this, he's doing that, or do you know how unstable that will be soon, or unsustainable? And that doesn't matter, because as soon as you cross that level, you'll be on another level, and then another level, and another level, but the risk is real, you know, and being 5 years strong as an entertainer, as a performer, I'm feeling that already, you know, I'm feeling how unsustainable, at least for my mental health, it is, you know. It's cool, I can look at myself and fantasize and obsess over myself even, and other people who obsess over me, which is really powerful. You know, let's keep that obsession for Ashley Radiance going. It's the most amazing, incredible thing in the world, right? It's nice to be like in love with an ideal for a while, you know, to be in love with an idealistic performer. I think that's really cool. I like that, you know. Like I said, I look at myself and I feel the same way. I just want to grab her off the screen. I see this little girl who's dancing, but she's this big, powerful girl, you know, and I want her in the flesh. I'm like, oh, Ashley, can you tell me this? Can you tell me that? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I stop myself thinking, wait, that's me. It's just an aura that I put out, you know, and those people who've been touched by my magic, my radiance over the years, they understand, you know, they understand that I'm offering something you can't find anywhere else. This is Ashley Radiance to the next level, you guys. Keep watching. Things are always changing. New things are coming.